Right, hi guys. I'm here today with Ross Maxwell from KeyZone Traders, and this is one that we've already reviewed. In fact, Art's reviewed this one, and he's written he's very impressed, and I'll put a link to his review in the video description below. But hi Ross, how you doing?
Hi, Graham. Thanks. Yeah, nice to see you again, and thanks for having me here.
No problem. Look, let's just crack on with this. Can you just tell the viewers who you are and what it is you do?
Yeah. So my name's Ross Maxwell. I'm a professional trader. I've been trading my whole life, but been a professional trader now since sort of 2014. And a couple of years ago, I've been coaching traders as well, to sort of educating and mentoring traders. But I set up my own company, which is KeyZone Traders. I set that up a couple of years ago, about 18 months now ago, and that's just really just teaching people a responsible approach, giving them a bit more of a realistic approach into trading and what can be achieved from it, and how to do it responsibly, basically.
So, so your background is in full-time trading. You were a full-time trader before you started doing this.
Yeah, so I left school when I was 18, which is, well, nearly 22 years ago now. And I went into the city of London. Wanted to get into like maths was quite a strong point for me, and it sort of like I remember my career session, which sort of like said, oh, maybe you want to get into finance, and that's the sort of path that I led. And as soon as I got into it, I made my way up and started trading in London. I was trading South African equity derivatives, which is sort of like it was a South African version of like the FTSE 100, basically. And I was trading futures and options on that. So I did that for sort of 10 years, both in London, and I moved to Hong Kong. I lived in Hong Kong for a few years, which was good fun. Still trading the South African stuff. And then moved back to London, got a bit disillusioned with sort of like the corporate city life, the stresses that went with it, and saw the people around me burning out. And I was only sort of 30 at the time, 31, and sort of like thought I didn't really want that life for me, sort of like in 20, 25 years time. So I decided to quit my job and try and become a professional trader myself. So I trade with my own funds and give me that sort of freedom and flexibility and do my own thing, so I did that in 2014, and that's what I've been doing ever since, really. And then, like I say, the coaching sort of came as a result of that. And I've been coaching since sort of 2017, 2018.
But how was that shift from working for an institutional trading house to working for yourself? Because I know it's a completely different ball game. One, in terms of when you're using your own money instead of someone else's money, is massively
Yeah.
different. But
Yeah.
also, when you're trading with huge sums like you do with an institution, it's completely different to trading with like your own, obviously much smaller bank. How was that?
Yeah, do you know what? Funnily enough, somebody asked me that question recently, and they said, sort of, how did you deal with the emotions of dealing with like tens to hundred millions of dollars worth of value of stocks and shares in London? And I was like, do you know what? Like, actually, that first trade that I put on with my own money, even if it was like worth 50 to £100, was much more emotional. Like, I felt much more emotional about that than trading like $400 million worth of sort of like funds from somebody else, because you have the emotional attachment to your money as well. Like, there's a massive shift, and that is something that you have to deal with as a trader. Like, there's also very like massive differences in the sense that I was trading in London. I worked from what was sort of 6 in the morning till sort of 5, 6 o'clock at night. No matter what the markets did, I got paid at the end of the month. Whereas now I sort of like I can trade all week, and I can actually have to pay to go to work. I can actually lose money in a day, a session, a week, a trade. Like, that happens as a life of a trader. So it's a massive emotional adjustment to trading from in the city to trading your own money. Also, I actually went through a period of adjustment and a period of re-education from making that transition as well. Because although I'm trading the same or very similar products, the basics and the concepts are very similar, so I've got a lot of foundational skills. But actually, like, now I'm having to make those own decisions, my own decisions every single day. I'm using my own money. There's like a massive re-education, or not massive, but there's certainly a transition and a re-education, because there's huge differences between the two. So it's really understanding that and making sure you get the right education to make that transition properly.
Because I imagine as a trading for a finance house, it'd be like I know that you've got certain targets and you have to trade regardless. And also when you trade is kind of, I know like you've got to do things for the end of the month and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that when you're trading yourself. So do you find it's a bit more flexible? Because like when you don't want to make a trade, you just don't trade.
Yeah, 100%. And even to the point. So I do mindfulness in the morning before my session as well, and to the point whereby like this doesn't happen often, but you know, if when I'm doing my mindfulness and my meditation before I sit down at my session, if I realize I'm not in the right frame of mind to go to work, I cannot go to work because, or like I cannot trade, should I say, because I can do other pieces of work, but I cannot trade because I know I'm not, like, if I go into the markets that day, I'm more likely to be losing money, which is actually detrimental to me. So I can sort of like adapt myself to that. Whereas, you know, if you're trading in the city, if somebody tells you got to trade, you got to trade. Like you can't go, oh, actually, I feel a bit off today. I can't really. I'm not going to do that. You have to do it. Whereas with your own money, you have that little bit more flexibility. Not just with that, but like, you know, if your kids have got sports day or something like that, I don't have to speak to someone to ask for that time off. Like I can just go and do it. We were talking just before, went to Thailand for a month, and I was sort of like trading whilst I was out there. So it does give a lot more flexibility and stuff as well in that sort of sense.
I'm impressed that you said you do meditation. I do myself. We'll have to chat about this afterwards because I'm really interested
Definitely.
in what you do. I do that every day myself. So yeah.
It makes a massive impact. It's actually something that I teach within my courses as well for people to do.
It is okay.
Yeah,
That's great. Well, we'll go more into that after this
yeah.
chat because I'm fascinated
Cool.
by that kind of stuff. But so can you just tell us a little bit about what this course is? What is it you offer? What's involved? You know, what are people actually buying?
Yeah, so I mean, I have different levels of services and courses and stuff like that. But basically, my idea is like as I said, I've been trading for many years. I've seen the whole thing. I've seen sort of trading education companies. I've seen the whole thing on social media with like, you know, these private jets, Lamborghinis, etc., and sort of like selling the dream. And it's really what I want to do is give people an affordable way into and set realistic expectations as to what can be achieved in trading. You know, like if you've got a small bank account, you may be able to, you can become a profitable trader. You can certainly create like a supplementary income, but that's not necessarily going to get you to this sort of like millionaire lavish lifestyle that's that's professed. So like I just mentioned, I went to Thailand for a month, but you know, I didn't travel business class. I'm not staying in penthouse apartments and stuff, but trading still allows me to live comfortably and do these things. So it's sort of like just sort of setting the expectations of it. I have a free course for very basic foundations. I have what I call my 7 steps, which is for a small fee of like £250. You can sort of like learn the foundations, also learn some real strategies. And I actually give people the steps and the approach that they need to take before they even fund a live account, basically, given some of the foundational stuff, because people jump in and start funding live accounts before they've got the skills necessary to do so. And then they wonder why they lose money. They wonder why 90% of traders lose money. So I've got like basic foundational courses. Then I've got my academy course, which is the one that Arthur kindly reviewed. And that's much more in depth. It covers the basics. It covers really in depth on risk. It covers mindset, where I talk about the meditation and stuff like that, as well as then going into price action, why the market behaves the way it does, and then also strategies into how to take advantage of those market behaviors. I also offer with that, there's ongoing webinar training. So every week I do webinar training where I cover specific topics. People get to ask me questions about specific trades they're looking at. And also it gets me, I cover sort of like any new material that comes about, part of the community and stuff as well. And then finally, I have my graduate program, which is sort of like my mentorship one-to-one, which is really for people that want to take it full time. The academy course is really for people that want to like make those independent trading decisions themselves and learn how to do it and how the markets work and why they work the way they do, basically.
You said you do webinars as a community. Is that like a weekly? Did you say weekly?
Yeah, so I do weekly webinars. So the community is sort of like 24/7. It's I host it on Discord. So you can ask questions on that, and I'm always around to answer questions within the community. But then I also hold a live webinar every single week, so that people can, ask questions about the course material, ask questions about specific trades, where I can go over the chart within the session with them. They can each week I do like a topic of focus. So I take one topic from the syllabus and I focus on that topic. So people can ask questions about that. And then after the topic of focus, they can ask just any sort of generic questions as well.
Okay. And so I'm just trying to think what sort of people this is good for. I mean, so if you've got someone who's no experience in trading whatsoever, it's suitable for them, or do they need a bit of experience?
Yeah, no. So if you're sort of like brand new and no experience but want to start to learn to trade, then I would sort of like recommend that sort of 7 steps, because that will give you the foundational knowledge and a taster to determine whether it's something you really want to pursue without committing sort of like large vast sums of money. If you've gotten some experience, or you've had bad experience, or you need to learn more, then I would probably say sort of the academy is the sort of like the route that you want to go to. I do also actually offer another service where I give out my daily trade plans with analysis and intraday commentary. So I give out constant intraday commentary on the FTSE, the DAX, and the S&P and Dow Jones, because those are the markets that I trade. And I also give out some alerts for actual trades that I'm taking on my own account as well, on sort of like some higher time frame stuff. So that's more for your active traders, for traders who are already actively trading, and maybe want a bit of guidance around the areas which they should be looking to trade. But yeah, if you're looking to really learn and become like an independent trader in terms of learning how the markets work and want to know, so that you can make the decisions yourself, then yeah, the academy course would be the best fit.
And is this something that, so you mentioned before that people wanted to take it full time, but by implication that means that people can do this part time.
Yeah, of course. Like I think look, there's like, you can do it part time. You have to take it seriously. At the end of the day, you're going into financial markets full of professionals and stuff like that, so you have to educate yourself properly. But yeah, of course you can do this part time. You can look for sort of like trade higher time frames and stuff like that, so that you don't have to be sat at the screens all day every day. Like my alert service allows people to just sort of like take those trades and use them, rather than actually having to know like the full technical thing. So it really depends on what your goals are as to which of the courses would be right for you, or which of the services would be right for someone. And that's why from my experience of coaching and mentoring, is like everyone has different aspirations, everyone has different experiences, everyone has different size bank accounts and trading accounts to go with. So it's sort of like trying to give everyone an opportunity to get involved in trading, but doing it properly, understanding the risks involved, and taking it to at whatever level they need to, sort of thing. So yeah, it can be done part-time, or if you really want to take it as a full-time income, then obviously you need to put the hours in and take it that further to sort of like a graduate program.
So could someone who's maybe got a full-time job, would they be able to do this as well, perhaps with the alert service or some other?
With the alert service, they would be able to. They could also, I mean, if you've got a full-time job and you can still afford the time to study, then the academy course is okay, because like you can then sort of trade off the daily time frames or something like that. Obviously, your expectations, you're not going to become a full-time professional trader unless you've got a huge bank account trading off the daily time frames. But if you're looking at a little bit more of trying to get an active role in sort of like your longer term portfolio or something like that, and you're happy to do that, then you can take the course material from the academy and translate that into sort of like the daily and weekly time frames and trade off those. So it's full-time people can do it, full-time workers can do it through the alert service, or by learning the material and trading the appropriate time frames that suit their lifestyle, basically.
That sounds great. And so if someone wanted to contact you before getting involved, and they had some questions, how do they do that?
I can. My email address is ross@keysonetraders.com. So I'm always open for just drop me an email. I'm always open to have a chat, like even a Zoom call or something like that, just to go through and work out what service is right and best fit for them. There's also a contact page on my website, which is www.keysonetraders.com. So either one of those, yeah, just an email, drop me a message through the website, or contact me through my social media channels, and I'm more than happy to set up a call or a Zoom or something like that to go through the services, find out a little bit more about what their aims are, what their goals are for trading, and then I can give a bit more advice as to which one would be best for them.
That's brilliant. Thanks so much for this, Ross.
No, thank you very much, Graham. Really appreciate it.
What I'll do, I'll put links in the description below, links to your website, I'll put your email address, and anyone who wants to get involved, to get in contact with you and go from there.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay then. All right, Ross, thanks very much, and cheers.
Yeah, thank you very much, Graham. Cheers.